All right, let's get started with this this episode of the Roundtable. Hello, Zoom people.
Hello,
Hi
hello,
there.
hello.
Good night. Or hello.
All right, so we were just talking to Travis. If you guys don't follow Travis, what's your name on the Instagram and stuff? It's not Travis.
It's Estes Travis on Instagram or
Okay.
Travis Estes.
Yeah.
On
So
Instagram.
if you haven't looked recently, there is not a rollover, but a very off-camber situation that he got in, and his partner is it Wayland? Wayland. His partner Wayland, which is a dog, got ejected. He's okay, but he got ejected out of the passenger side, and there's enough camera angles where you can see Wayland looking up, going, "What the hell, man?" It's just really funny. But Wayland's okay, right?
He's perfectly good. Yeah, he's
All right.
sitting down by my feet right now, and yeah, he was shocked with the water. He's not a big swimmer,
Yeah.
so he's never really cared for water that much. He'll chase it in briefly to get a ball, but he's not a swimmer,
Right.
and he unfortunately went swimming real quick.
So before we started recording, you were just explaining how the 4xe is totaled. Go ahead and continue with that story. How did it get totaled, and was it Wayland's fault?
Well, yeah, he had me off my line. I was, focused on him, and you'll see the video in the inside camera. He's like standing on my shoulder, just ready to go. And I was not so much watching him. I was watching my line, but I was off on the line. And it was honestly, it's a green trail that had been rutted out so bad locally. And I'd heard it's gotten bad. I heard, hey, you need 40s to get through it, and I'm like, well, I'm dropping into it and then heading out. It's going to be different. And I just was on the wrong line. I was on the wall instead of in the ruts. And when it, lost the wall and I had to drop in, I dropped in and the entire thing rolled over on its side. The engine, the air intake on the 4xe is on the passenger side up by the hood, and the engine wasn't running. It was off. Everything was good. I was focused on Wayland, making sure so I didn't kill the engine because I was an electric first and foremost. So I didn't hear it on. It wasn't on. Wasn't taking any water in, and was like, okay. So I started focusing on Wayland. I saw he was okay, and then I just continued to focus on because I couldn't move. Last week we were talking about rollovers or different things. My seatbelt alone had me locked in. I was not going anywhere. Could not release, couldn't do anything, and I was just yelling at my buddies, to get the line to get me back over. When I was on the side, briefly, the engine did cut on, and it took on water. I immediately killed it at that point. Killed it, shut it off.
It automatically started.
It started itself, yeah, because the engine was on. So it fired up. I killed it, as quick as I could, just with the situation I was in, and we got it back on level ground. We pulled the spark plugs. We didn't pull the spark plugs there, but we just checked everything, and the electric was still running and going. So I drove it off the trail in electric mode just to know, hey, the engine ran. We've got to get this thing, spark plugs pulled and get everything done.
Well, we haven't had an issue with our recording in some time, but this roundtable episode we did, and it's my fault. I use the OBS software to record the video and audio, and then I post-process with DaVinci Resolve, the studio version. So the combo works really good most of the time, but in trying to capture multiple cameras, multiple angles, sometimes it doesn't work. So I've been making some changes to tune it so that it works every time. Well, unfortunately, it overwhelmed the processor and really messed up the audio. Choppy video is not so bad, but choppy audio, that gets old really quick. So we got to talk a little bit about Travis's off-camber moment where Wayland got ejected from the vehicle. Again, he's fine. Travis, we don't care about. Wayland, the dog, we really care about. So anyway, some of the stuff that I didn't get to cover because the audio was just so bad was talking about how do you upgrade your Jeep for lockers? And when I say upgrade the Jeep for lockers, turning them on and off. When you get a Rubicon, all that stuff is done for you. You can just, flip the switch and boom, it works. But if you're like me and you got a Gladiator with the Max Tow Sport S, it doesn't come with lockers. There's a limited slip in the back, and it does make a big difference, but it's not the same thing as lockers. So I have hemmed and hawed around in the past looking at something I wanted to buy for the Jeep. This is specifically for the Cherokee, the XJ. And by the time I decided to buy it, it was no longer available. So I'm kind of concerned about that. And one of the reasons why I brought this up on the roundtable was just to get people's input. Now, I will say, and this is perfectly valid, you don't have to have anything fancy. You don't have to have anything that matches the interior of your Jeep. But the 2021 Gladiator is the newest vehicle I've purchased, and I like keeping it nice. No wires hanging out, no wires hanging around, no switch panel bolted to something here and there. It's perfectly fine. I did that with the XJ, just don't want to do it with the Gladiator. So part of this discussion was there were other alternatives to the switches and stuff that I'm going to be talking to you about tonight. So keep that in mind. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to work. Although I do believe that whenever it is kept nice and neat and functional, then other people can drive your Jeep. And you don't have to tell them, oh yeah, reach to the left, do the grab handle, lean over, flip the switch under the dash, all this other stuff. That can be fun too. But if somebody else is going to drive your Jeep, you might want to make it in such a way where it, like the factory did, where it makes sense. The layout makes sense. All right. So one of the things, I have the auxiliary switch panel already from the factory, and that kind of throws a kink in some of the replacements that are out there. Now, and this is kind of true of the Z Automotive replacement. And I really like the Z Automotive fix for lockers because it uses the factory locker with the Off-Road Plus and the sway bar buttons on there as well. Now, I'm not planning on putting a automatic or electronic sway bar on my Gladiator, although I've been told by some, sure, go ahead, it's not a big deal to do. I much rather like the idea of just disconnecting it manually. That way it's disconnected and you don't have to worry about it. Or the anti-rock sway bars, I think would be good too. Are they sway bars? The anti-rock, whatever it's called. So anyway, looking at the Z Automotive, they actually sell OEM locker switches for the Wrangler JL and JT. It is $99.99, which I don't know, for a factory item, I think is probably a pretty decent price. And it absolutely is 100% factory. So if you're concerned about your Sport S, any of them that didn't come with a locker switch on it, looking factory and fooling people into thinking it's a Gladiator, this is the way to do it. Or maybe it just starts an interesting conversation about, oh, is this a Gladiator? No. I'm sorry, is this a Rubicon? And you say, no. Well, it's got a locker. Yeah, I installed that. Isn't that a factory switch? It is. So it's kind of fun to go down that road too. Anyway, so $100, and there's nothing on the back of this switch that allows you to hook things up to it. I mean, there's one hookup point, but it definitely needs something to decode the switches that the levers that you move or the switches that you press. And to do that, Z Automotive sells a little box called an auxiliary kit, and it is $349. And that is a bit pricey to me. I mean, I know it's nothing in the big scheme of things for Jeep stuff, but a little pricier than what I wanted. Now, the downside to this is that not only does it control lockers, but it also controls your auxiliary light switches. I already have that. So could I use this? Sure. Would I be able to use the auxiliary light switch portion of it? No. So I'm paying for something that I don't need. I just need it for the lockers. Yeah, there's other ways of triggering lockers. Lockers are very easy to turn on and off with simple switches. It's not like rocket science, but if you want to keep it factory or factory looking, this is kind of the direction you have to go. Now, if you don't have aux switches, this is certainly a great alternative. $349 from Z Automotive, the auxiliary kit. But you will need to purchase a aux switch panel as well, which I believe it's also $99. But you go over to xjtalk.com to find out. And there's always a possibility you can pull one from a junkyard or get one off of eBay. Although eBay seems to be a bit pricey these days. So the auxiliary kit from Z Automotive, mounts under your hood, and allows you to not only have locker switches, but also to the 4 aux switches that you would normally get from the factory, or if you have a Rubicon, you have both those little panels in there, and it looks the panel looks factory because it is factory. All right, so the direction I think I'm going to go is with Lasfit Auxiliary Switchback Kit. It is OEM style. Now I'm only looking again for the one that lets you turn the lockers on and off. And the thing that I always thought was hokey about this deal was it has a RJ45 connector in it. I had to do some digging to find out. It's just a pass-through. So if you have a radio, GMRS or ham radio, that the microphone uses an RJ45, you can always make it work, but it's a lot simpler if you already have one. You could take your microphone, plug it into this, plug the cable that runs from the back of this push button gizmo to your radio, and now you have a really neat installation. I actually just have mine running under the center dash to the microphone, but having it plugged straight into there would be nice and very easy to disconnect if for some reason I'd like to unplug the microphone and maybe put it in the center console and lock it up. So that will be nice. And also too, it has that same style as the factory, so it will. The 99% of the people, they won't notice any difference. This one is a much simpler setup because for $269, it's the complete thing. So you don't have to buy a factory switch panel. You don't have to do any fancy things with the wiring. It's just you take whatever relay or however you're telling your locker to engage or disengage, hook it to their remote box that mounts on the driver's side just next to the brake booster, and then boom, it works. So it's a real simple way of doing things, and I think I'm going to do this, especially just because of the price, $269, which I think is I still think it's a lot of money for what it does, but it'll be a factory looking thing, and I'll be ready to install lockers. So of course the question is, so are you going to install lockers? Yes, eventually, but as I said to the beginning, I don't want to wait on this for so long that I don't actually get it. And then by the time I'm doing lockers, I have to come up with some other way of doing it, or maybe go with a more expensive Z Automotive setup, which would be over $400. Yep. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think that I'm going to get this. Stay tuned to get information on the installation and what I learned in the process, and if there was any gotchas. I've seen some videos and stuff. I don't think there is. Just so you know, there are other solutions out there that you can do to not only have aux switches, but also to have switches for lockers. There's a bunch of ways you can do it, and I certainly encourage you to do it the way you think you should do it. This is the way I'm thinking I'm going to do it, and hey, if it works and it's functional, why not? All right, everyone, that's a wrap for this week's Jeep Talk Show Roundtable. A big thank you to all of our Zoom participants. You guys make this so much fun and informative every week. Remember, you can join us again next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time for more Jeep Talk, random questions, and always a few rabbit trails. Don't forget to visit us at ejected.com/contact to find out how you can be part of the conversation. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
Broadcasting since 2010.
You're my friend. You're my new friend.